everyone, welcome to the channel for new battle report. So we are on game number 1 from the War Tavern Winter Bash. I was paired against a Vampire Covenant army. You should already know my list if you watched the previous video. If you didn't, I recommend you to watch it quickly to get a better understanding of the list that I'm going to play during the upcoming 3 battle reports. And this was my opponent's list. So we have basically very special Vampire Covenant army, because he plays basically kind of a Death Star of cavalry, 6 Vampire Knight with Banner of Speed, and then within the unit 2 expensive Vampire Count that are quite killy, who also make his magic. Then we have MSU core, we have 23 ghoul, 25 zombies, 2x20 skellies. We have also 8 direwolf, 6 batworms, and then he has also 4 Wind Reaper. So basically his main strength is around the Wind Reaper and the Vampire Knight. That's going to be his striking force. We were playing secure targets, so the 2 points 48 from each other. That's something that I'm surprised to see online, so many people playing it wrong. So it's basically you have the middle and then it's 24 apart, left and right, that you place each of the secure target. So that's how it should be played. So it's quite far away from each other, and not every army can play well on it. Deployment was bottleneck, so it's either the wide deployment, but then you're less deeper than the opponent. You have only 9-inch for your deployment zone, or you get the big center and then you don't have the sides, basically. As secondary objective, I had settled the score, so I elected to kill the Vampire Knight, because I felt they're going to come into combat, so I might have the occasion to finish them. And his second objective was to kill my character, and you have also the spell selection for both players. Mine will be, I think, the same for all tournaments. So basically, get the damage spell, get hereditary, Cage of Embers. The double between hereditary, Cage of Embers is key to get the potentially Onyx core working, or to get some reroll to wound on the flaming damage and the combat attack. Matchup analysis, yeah, he has a strong carve, and then a big unit of Wind Reaper. My range damage should do wonders against those targets because of multi-wound 2, so I should be doing good damage on both units, which means I have good answer on them. Charge will be hard for him to take, I felt, because of my static, the ranks, the spears. So yeah, I felt I have some good tools in the matchup, generally speaking. Then if we focus on the primary, it's a bit challenging for me, because they are really far away. And I felt if he plays compact, it could be hard for me to challenge it. And also, he's quicker than me, as you will see. So it's kind of tricky for me to play this secondary with my list. And what I could try is to challenge his objective for a turn, just to score it, and then helping me winning the primary. So I felt a draw on the primary was easily achievable. The win on the primary is much more harder. It seems more interesting for me to counter deploy, because I can place my scoring second, I can adapt my deployment at his deployment. So I was happy about that. And estimation, I felt overall positive about the matchup, with a caution regarding primary. I felt primary here is the main uncertain aspect in the matchup. Deployment wise, I won all 4 sides, so I took bottom. I gave him an impassable in the middle of this deployment, and I gave him the big center. I felt with the 2 token being really on the side, it's better for me to get the wide deployment, because I can really play on the flanks. My opponent then elected to drop everything for first turn, so he placed in the middle his Death Star of cavalry. Then you have the Bat Swarm, the ghouls, you have here skellies, the chaff, and then in the back also zombies and skeletons, and you have also the Wind Reaper here in the front. I try to make something where I can play both. I wanted to see if I can do it or not. We'll see at the end if it's a good idea or not. I have from left to right Citadel, Titan Mortar and Gunnery in them. Then I have Immortal with nothing in them except the General, the Naftatro in the back. So that's going to be my strong flank. And the weaker flank, I just place Immortal with a Gunnery, and together with my Troic Enforcer with the Overlord multiple wound. So I felt that should be good answer. Obviously it's depending on his cavalry, but I felt the cavalry might come left and Wind Reaper might come right, so I might have enough answer. Obviously the main danger is that if he push towards one side of the map and I don't have the velocity, the ability to come after him and catch him. So that could be potentially dangerous for me. Let's come to his turn 1. So he elected to push towards the left with the cavalry. march forward, march also the ghoul, and towards the right with Wind Reaper, together with multiple unit of infantry, and just basically you have the chaff in the front line that's going to come to try to block me. Magic phase, you get Danse Macabre on something, I don't remember which unit, and that's already my turn. My turn 1, I just reformed battle line on both sides, and then on the magic phase I get 9 wounds on the bats. I wanted to reduce them before combat, because they might block me if they have all their wounds. Then I also got Naphtha Thrower, 5 wounds on the ghoul here, killing 1 rank is always nice. Titan Mortar, kill also some more. And I managed to kill 1 of the cavalry with rocket battery and 2 wounds on the Wind Reaper here. So that's a good start. His turn 2, he pushed hard towards me. He make a strange maneuver where he gives me his flank. Obviously he chaffed the 2 units here on the left. And basically I was asking myself, what's the plan? His plan is basically that he has 2 spells to make this work. The first one would be the magic move, to be able to be here in the flank, Danse Macabre. So that could be a first option. And second option is to create a unit in front of me. So that's depending on the magic. If the magic doesn't go well, it could be charged in the flank by 20 immortals. So that could be a bit uncomfortable for him. So a bit of a risk, but interesting attempt. And right side, he pushed the chaff towards me. And he moves the Wind Reaper a bit forward. So obviously, yeah, I don't want that combat too soon. I need to reduce the Wind Reaper. They could go against my Immortal, I would be fine, as long as I have potentially counter charge or way to support them. But yeah, I need to gain a bit of time, to win a bit of time to make it more safe on the right. In the magic phase, I dispel the Danse Macabre on his cavalry, and then he gets the creation of the unit, which for me was better. Then the other one is, since his general was all the way here to the right, he's able to place it like that, and I can still get the Immortal to charge the flank here, which was for me good enough. So on my turn I charge the flank of those bats. I leave the zombies where they are. I was feeling confident I could get rid of the bats, and then I reposition my rocket to shoot here. The cavalry doesn't see nothing from my Immortal in combat, so that's fine for me. Those guys also reposition in the flank of the ghouls. Here I move a bit in the back. I want to win some time. In the magic phase, I get a Cage of Embers in the close combat to make it easier, and also I'm getting Flaming Sword, so I can pop them in one go and reform. That was the safest for me, because if not I can get pinned down by other unit, and I felt that's a bit dangerous. Shooting, I kill 1, I think yeah, I made 2 save with Vampire Knight, so I make nothing, 2 save on 5 up, and I think I made 2 wound on the Wind Reaper. So I kill 1. His turn 3. He attempted a charge on the 5 Swift Ride with the 3 remaining Wind Reaper against my Immortal, which I found interesting. He failed that charge, and then the Wolves stayed in front to chaff me, and those guys start a willing maneuver to push towards my flank, so you can see the way they move. They want to push here in the flank. He moves his unit towards me. The Ghoul are really stuck against my unit. They are now dead. So he just keeps them in the front, but it's not able really to punish me if I charge. In the magic phase, he gets, I dispel Danse Macabre on the cavalry again. Didn't want him to push me too hard. And he gets the heal and heal some ghoul, which I don't care. My turn 3. I'm able to get those guys. Was actually a charge in the flank, so I charge them in the flank here. Here I don't charge the zombies, I use them as wall. Basically he can then only charge me with a Flying Lord. But he cannot really wheel, so the Lord would have been to be here, and he cannot get the skeletons at the same time. So I was feeling safe about that. I keep the rocket to shoot them. On the right the same, rocket to shoot. I get those guys close to also get the blunder, so I'm feeling okay. Blunderbuss plus the rocket battery, and basically the only thing I need is Hereditary or Cage of Embers on the Wind Reaper to make sure I get the multi-wound D3 in case he charge my Blunderbuss cavalry. So I felt okay, that should be fine. Let's try to get an advantage here. Magic phase, I get Cage of Embers on the Wind Reaper, meaning he won't be able to really charge me, which is nice. Naphtha Thrower kill a skeleton. I kill 1 Wind Reaper, I make 2 wounds on the Wind Reaper, I kill 1 cavalry with the rocket battery. That worked well. On the close combat I pop the ghouls and just reform. His turn 4. Yeah, he takes a smart choice here. He realized, but a bit too late in the battle, that actually going this way should be way better because I only have 2 units here and he has a lot of units around me. And I don't have the, like I said, the velocity, the mobility to catch him, especially now that he was able to create a chaff in front of me. So nice move. Moving toward me, we will see what he's going to be able to catch. Magic Face able to heal the Wind Reaper. That was also a side effect of his maneuver. He's able to support the Wind Reaper with magic, which is much more scary for me looking towards the combat. I dispelled Danse Macabre, my turn 4. I just defend on the right and I push towards the left, but I'm not that fast, as you can see. In the Magic Phase, we get... I tried to get Cage of Amber on 4 dice, but that's exactly what I feared. I failed the cast on 4 dice. And then he's able to dispel with 5 dice against my 4 hereditary. So I don't get any multi-wound on the Wind Reaper, which is a bit scary for me because he has a potential charge on the 5. And then what do I get? I get Breast Weapon in the combat, but that doesn't matter much against the zombies. Just the dice that I had left. Rocket Battery, I think I shot the blunderbuss on the dogs, I killed some. And I managed to do 4 wounds on the Wind Reaper with the right Rocket Battery, which was nice. And the Rocket Battery on the left on the cavalry did nothing. On his turn 5, he charged both. No, he doesn't charge both, sorry. He charged with the Wind Reaper on the 5 Swift, makes it. I stand and shoot, make a wound. And then he pushed hard the cavalry in front of my Immortal. So the pressure is starting to come. What happened then? In the Magic Phase, he gets... I dispel the first heal. Then he gets -1 resilience in the close combat and he failed the second heal. So that was really huge, obviously. Healing another Wind Reaper would have been huge. I remember he had only 3 model in the contact, so that would have helped him getting the 4th model. So that's obviously huge. And then he was able also to create a unit of zombies somewhere, but I didn't care about that. What happened in the close combat, to my surprise, actually, he didn't roll that well. 3 Wind Reaper, 12 attack, 3+2+. Didn't make that much, like killing 5. And then I went back and the Overlord, I remember, makes a fool with 4 attack on 3+3+, so 3+ rollable and then 3+. And then the rest of the unit roll also really well. And I'm able to win the combat, make him crumble to the last wound. And basically he's not here anymore. And my unit is free and it's my 5. So that's really, really huge turn of event that wasn't expected. I high roll a bit, he low roll a little bit, and now I'm free to charge. And you see here the opportunity, charge a dog, overrun on a 6 into the boss of Skellies, which is close to the secondary, to the primary. Nobody sees me, so that's huge turn of event, huge amount of point. And yeah, that's huge. Regarding the primary, it's really a lucky escape for me. I just position my Immortal in front of the cavalry to chaff them and shoot them. And here I'm out of charge range. Here, unfortunately for me, I doesn't get lucky this time. I can't get lucky all the time. I don't make the charge here on the 3 on the dice, which would have been nice because I could have charged the Skellies, overrun into the BSB, and next turn maybe threaten the Skellies. But yeah, I was lucky on the right, so I'm happy to fail that charge in compensation for that. The Magic Phase, I get Cage of Embers on the Skellies, I get also 5G3 on the Skellies, I finish them, the 6 remaining Skellies. Rocket Battery, do 4 wounds on the Vampire Knight before combat, that's really nice. And then close combat, obviously I make the overrun 6 Swift Stride into the zombies. So that's a really nice turn for me. His turn 6, I charge with Vampire Knight against my Immortal. And that's about it, basically. The rest just try to move forward and block me. Magic Phase, what happened? He gets -1 resilience on my Immortal, which doesn't matter much because he only wounds me on 4+. So then it's just the mount getting to wound better, but that's not that bad. He also get a heal in the close combat and I dispel the second heal. And the close combat on the bottom, I'm going to lose by 1 and I stick on the 8, no reroll. So that's key, obviously, that's really key. I do some wounds, but not that much. And the top close combat, yeah, I do some good wounds. Yeah, that was the overrun. I do some wounds on the, I think it's zombies on top. So not so many left and I'm going to finish them turn 6. Turn 6, sorry, blurry picture. I'm going to finish the zombies on top, so that's a no-brainer. And then on the bottom, he hasn't so many wounds left on the Vampire Knight. And I'm able this time to win and make his cavalry crumble and I finish them. So he doesn't get any points from the attempt against the Enforcers and no points also for the attempt against the Immortal, who survive and finally win this round of combat because he's less deadly, not on the charge. And I'm able to get all points on the Vampire Knight, inclusive, that's the secondary. So, huge turn of event here on the right. which helped me win the secondary, the primary, and a lot of points, and helped me climb to a 20-0 win, which wasn't the case at all after turn 4. So that's kind of crazy turn of event, and I was very lucky to come up on top with a 20-0 here. Yeah, to sum it up quickly, so primary harder than expected. I think overall, if you check the picture turn 1, VC could have won it. I think if he turns the cavalry towards the right, turn 1, marching 18, turn 3 is in close combat, and I'm in huge trouble, and I think my right flank would not survive to that. And my left flank cannot catch up with his fast unit, so I think that's a game that I would lose. I think he got the right idea, but just too late. And I checked, he thought about it on turn 1, I saw him make some simulation, and then he, luckily for me, he made the wrong decision to go towards the left. But if he goes right, huge trouble. So I think overall my attempt in the deployment to play for both points is not really viable. I think if he makes the right decision, my right flank gets eaten, and I cannot compensate that, and I lose the game. I think that's how it would have go. So I don't have here the mobility to play that game, and I think I should have focused left flank and try to push towards him, get some point, secure draw on the primary, and then it gets something close to a short win. But I think here to try to go on both flank was a too risky attempt, considering the mobility of his cavalry and the Wind Reaper as well. Micro endgame succession, like I said, of positive event, helping me to get a big win instead of a short win. And yeah, Enforcer and Overlord, I think he huge performance against the Wind Reaper. I didn't expect that after failing the cage, failing Hereditary. So it's kind of funny because I was unlucky in the magic to not get either one of those spells to be safe in the close combat. And then I roll, he low roll a little bit in the close combat. And at the end, I'm able to make him crumble and this compensate way more than what I failed. So yeah, sometimes a game of dice, and it can go both ways, and here it was definitely the case. So a bit unlucky turn of event for my opponent to go into combat with his main unit and just get 0 point and lose the unit at the end. Guys, thanks a lot for watching the battle report. I hope you liked it, and talk to you soon for game number 2. Goodbye.